You humans, come here. I am the herald of the gods. Look at it. Yeah. And look at me. And welcome back to the Culture Guys channel with your boy Mike Nix. Crown Jewel has just ended. Well, not just ended. By the time you're seeing this, Crown Jewel has been like yesterday or some shit. Anyway, WWE Crown Jewel, the first ever Crown Jewel put on by your boy Triple H. I feel like I think if I remember correctly, he said he had like thought about this shit for years. You know what I'm saying? Having like a big event or a match or a belt that unifies both champions in both divisions, in the men's and the women's. I always thought that the undisputed champion should be the WWE champion and the heavyweight champion combined. You know, they should just get rid of those two belts and then just give us the undisputed champion. But the more belts, the more matches, the more wrestlers, blah, blah, money, money, money. You know how it goes. Anyway, so first match of the night. And I'm gonna make this video as short as I can. Not as short as I can, but I don't wanna ramble too long because I got some other shit I wanna edit and put together too tonight. But anyway, Bloodline, the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. All right, so it was a 4 against 3. It was a 4-man against a 3-man, which was kind of weird to me, but it is what it is, ratings, whatever. But the OG Bloodline, of course, with Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, you know how it goes. And Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and his lackeys. Jacob Fatu though. That nigga there, he's gonna be a menace once they finally let him loose from this bloodline thing or whatever his next role is. He is gonna be something special for real. But anyway, they go toe to toe, and I don't find it's funny. The match was actually pretty good. There's some tension between Jay and Roman still. You know, they kind of showed that off a little bit. And of course, you know, Solo and the new Bloodline did not play fair. And at some point, Sami Zayn comes out. So, you know, the match is going on, and, you know, Solo Sikoa ends up winning. Of course, they beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. And the OG Bloodline. And then Sami Zayn comes out. So Sami Zayn comes out and you think he's coming out to help Solo. And then he turns against Solo, hits him with a belly-to-belly suplex, then accidentally kicks Roman Reigns. So he picked sides, you know what I'm saying? But he kicked this nigga dead in his shit. And I was like, okay, so what's the storyline now gonna be that Sami Zayn is just interfering in the Bloodline business, which is completely weird to me. You know, I loved the idea that, you know, the Samoan bloodline has been going together, even when The Rock gets thrown in there. But Sami Zayn, like, the fuck? I don't know what the fuck WWE is doing, but I'm sure they have a plan further down the line. Moving on. So Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. So Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control versus Piper Niven. I keep saying Nivea. I want to say Nivea, like the singer Nivea, whenever I see her name. Piper Niven, and then Chelsea Green versus Metaphor. Now, yo, I'll be real with y'all. This match started off phenomenal. Fire. These girls was getting busy. And you know, there's a stigma with the girls, with the women's wrestlers, you know what I'm saying, where they either can't wrestle or over the years. I won't say now. I think now the talent the bar has been raised, and the bar is very high with the women's division. Everything that these girls do, and there's different types of women now in the women's division of wrestling, which I love. I love there's so much variety. It's like it mimics and mirrors the men's side of things. You know, we got your big boys, your heavyweights, the BBWs, you know what I'm saying, Nia Jax, and Piper, and then we have, you know, the little girls that are like the luchadors that run around and do the flips and stuff. But this match started off and all the girls was getting busy, man. It was quick, they was crisp, they was precise, they was athletic, acrobatic. And I would say, I will argue with anyone and say that the women's division is more athletic than the men's division. I'm just saying, like, overall, right now, that's just how it looks. Gotta check my mic. Mic sounds good. Mic sounds nice. Yeah, okay. But anyway, it started off great. And then the botches came. Now, I'm gonna give my girl, I forgot her name. She's in Damage Control. She went to go jump on the second rope. And this seemed to be a reoccurring theme in tonight. I don't know if it's something about that second rope or the type of ropes they're using, or maybe there's some kind of, maybe there was sweat on the rope or something, but there was a right turnbuckle, second rope. It was like slippery because like every time somebody at Crown Jewel went to go do like a running jump to climb, like not like climb slowly, but like, you know how LA Knight does his suplex from the top. If you're already in, the guy's already in the corner, and then LA Knight runs up into the corner, jumps to the second, then the third, and he does his thing. He slipped too. So at first I was like, okay, these girls are botching, you know what I'm saying? And there was another botch later on, I think. Like, yeah, it was like a little small botch. So it was a few botches here and there. Overall, the women's 4-way tag team match was great. Them girls put on a show. So shouts out to Jade and Bianca for holding it down still. I love all 8 of those girls as far as their ability to, their in-ring abilities, the risk taking, you know what I'm saying? The high flying and all that shit, the athleticism. I really know, or I really want to see your girl Jade versus Lash Legend. Now that's the matchup that everybody's waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 2 powerhouse, just specimen. They're goddesses. You know what I'm saying? Physique wise, talent wise in the ring. They're just, man, it would be dope to see those 2 come together, but or go against each other. And I'm sure that's coming down the line. Jade, I think, still needs more in-ring experience, man, at this level. Personally, I think she's dope, but I think she needs a little bit more. But anyway, of course, you know your girl Jade and Bianca, they're the favorites to win. They won, and that was that. And we move on. Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins had a odd match with Bronson Reed, and I get the storyline, and I know what WWE is just kind of, it seems like WWE right now is kind of throwing shit at the wall and see what it sticks in a way. And this is not me shitting on WWE because I love wrestling. I'm passionate about it. And I don't get in my feelings about shit that don't go the way I want it to go in my head like a lot of the toxic fan base does. Some of these matchups just seem kind of weird because the first thing you're thinking is like, where's the storyline going? You know, like, what are we doing? Kind of like the Sami Zayn interfering in a bloodline matchup. Like, that was just weird to me. But a lot of weird shit happened tonight. You know what I'm saying? But Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, that was a pretty dope matchup. You know, Bronson Reed's a big dude. Seth Rollins is this quick little smaller guy. And the match was great. Bronson, at some point, they were outside the ring, and Bronson cut himself on a steel chair. And I hope he's all right, but it looks like he got like not a purposeful cut. I mean, like an accidental cut. He went to pick the chair, the steel chair. I keep saying steel chair, steel stairs up, and Seth hit him from behind, and he hit his head on, and he cut his eye. You know what I'm saying? It was real blood. Like normally they do like the fake razor blades or whatever it is they do. This was real. And but Seth won. In a pretty phenomenal fashion. That was a pretty good matchup, to be honest. It was like the little guy versus the big tank. It was like the little bitty scrapper versus the tank. You know what I'm saying? If you play City of Heroes, you kind of get those references. If you didn't, then whatever. But it was a pretty good match. Seth actually came out with the dub, man. I didn't think he was going to, but he did. So shouts out to Seth, man. I think he's a really good wrestler too. Moving on. I keep saying Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. They had their matchup, and of course, you know, Tiffany Stratton comes out with her little Money in the Bank briefcase that she's been carrying around for months, and she tried to interfere and jump in there, but she couldn't. Damn, that was loud, whatever the hell that was. My neighbor's over there scrapping or something. Anyway, she comes out. Of course, Dom and Raquel, they interfere in the match. Like this storyline's been going on like this for a couple of weeks now. You know how it goes. So Tiff didn't get a chance to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase. But Liv Morgan ends up winning, and Liv won the Crown Jewel belt. So Liv Morgan ends up winning for the women's division of Crown Jewel. Moving on. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Another weird one. Just weird storylines, weird matchups with weird backstories for them. Like, I know that wrestling is freestyle. A lot of the creative decisions that's made is really, a lot of it is freestyle for real. They just kind of going on the fly for real, if you don't know that. Even though it's scripted. It's still scripted, but there's like a lead up, but all that shit usually begins with like a freestyle. And it seems like this one was freestyle because Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens was I think they're trying to play on the whole, you know, Kevin Owens is a dirty wrestler, like he's a nice guy, like he'll be your friend, and he's got this, yeah, you know, he doesn't have like that macho super persona like a lot of the wrestlers. I think that's why a lot of people like him. I like him for real, his personality. And it seems like his personality in real life is just like it is as a wrestler, you know? So that gravitates, you're drawn to that, but to make you like him. But then he gets in the ring, or he gets, you know, has a matchup with somebody and he does some dirty shit, or in his mind, he thinks somebody betrayed him. So I get his persona and what they're going for. And I guess against Randy Orton would be the best person to do that with. But so Kevin stuns the ref during the match, and Randy, and then a bunch of the GM and a bunch of people from the back come out and shit. At that point, the match is thrown out. Randy RKO is one of the GMs. They end up outside the ring scrapping, and then Kevin puts Randy on a table and then jumps off of one of the little ledges or whatever and puts Randy through the table. Match done. All right. I love Randy. I'm from St. Louis. Randy's from St. Louis. So that's, you know, he's from the crib. So that's gang. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm always going to root for Randy Orton. But I would rather see him going against somebody else, to be honest with you. But we'll see how this storyline plays out. Moving on. Match of the night. Now, I've said this before. I will continue to say it as long as they continue to show up. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, they are the best wrestlers in WWE, hands down. Carmelo Hayes puts on a show. If you want to see, dude, straight up, if you want to be a wrestler, any of you kids out there want to be a wrestler, white, black, Hispanic, whatever you are, and you want to look at who some of the best wrestlers are of today, your first person you need to look at is Carmelo Hayes. That nigga is cold. He's quick, he's crisp, he's precise. His precision and his in-ring awareness is incredible. I have not watched a Carmelo Hayes match that was trash yet. I can name a couple Cody Rhodes matches that were trash. I can name a couple Roman Reigns matches that were trash. Shoot, even my boy LA Knight. As much as I love him to death, he's my favorite wrestler right now. It's just far as like overall, you know, character, persona, in-ring moves, finisher, everything. He's my favorite. Carmelo Hayes that's a bad brother. And he's not a big dude. He's got more of the luchador style, and he kind of comes up with his own stuff on the fly. But when him and Andrade, when him and Andrade go against each other, man, it is special. You can skip all the other matches. But it was a three-way match between him, Carmelo, Andrade, and LA Knight. And this was a tough one for me because as much as I love Carmelo, I kind of always want LA Knight to win because he's my favorite. That's my dude. LA Knight just gives me that he's a throwback to the 90s Attitude Era wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Everything from the mannerisms to, you know what I'm saying? Shit, he's a sneakerhead. Like he be wearing like J's, like Jordan style boots and shit in the ring. And, you know, and even looks the part. Like he's one of the few wrestlers that's on the roster that looks like he even lifts fucking weights. Like that was, you know, when we were kids, we used to grow up. And I'm about to go on a rant. We're not even going to do that right now. We'll save that for another video. Anyway, but Carmelo, toward the end of the match, LA Knight hits a double BFT to win and retain the U.S. championship and retain the belt. But the match, man, Carmelo hit some moves that I mean, it was just incredible. Off the top rope. I mean, his in-ring performance is just, it's like a circus. It reminds me of when I first saw Rey Mysterio back in the day when he was kids. If you remember Rey Mysterio when he first came in the WWE, like if you lived in other parts of the world, you knew about luchadors, but Americans, we didn't see a lot of luchador wrestling like that. Rey Mysterio was top of the top. And they were like D-list wrestlers. Like they'd be like the jobbers. You know, you'd see them on Saturday mornings. They'd be the first match. You know, they do a little thing, and then we want to see the main event. Nah, man, Carmelo, man, shouts out to you, bro. I know you're probably not watching this channel, but it is what it is. That's my guy. Great match. LA Knight comes out with the win. Moving on. Last but not least, I don't even want to call it a boring match because the match was good. It was decent. It was decent. If I had to rank this match, it would probably be last on the list for real, even though it was the main event. And I know that Cody is the WWE's guy. That's their guy right now. You know what I'm saying? It's their John Cena, it's their Hulk Hogan. I get it. I still think they're both great wrestlers. And I think Gunther is a great wrestler in his own right. I think Cody is a great wrestler in his own right. And when they come together, and by the way, this was the match for the Crown Jewel Men's Division Championship belt. I still was kind of bored. Like, bro, we could have skipped this. Like, and the match was long as hell too, by the way. Like, I feel like it was the longest match, if I'm thinking correctly. Maybe the Bloodline match was a little bit longer. I think the Bloodline match might have been a little bit longer, or maybe about the same amount of time, but because it was a whole, shit at the end with Sami Zayn and all that. But this match was just pure wrestling. It had a weird ass ending. Cody jumped off the top rope to do his super cutter. Gunther caught him and put him in a sleeper, and then Cody rolled backwards, like he bent his neck and rolled backwards and pinned him that way, which didn't make any sense to me, but hey, okay, we got a match at least. I didn't like the build up to this at all, for real, just me personally. I think that Cody, to me, is wearing out. The Cody effect to me is wearing out. Now, for you kids out there that love Cody, hey man, I'm not saying that Cody's a bad wrestler. I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think his superstar power is wearing out, okay? When you get older, you'll understand what I'm talking about, all right? It's time to move on from the Cody story, bro. Like, what are we doing at this point? Finish your story. All right, he finished his story. He's no longer even a part of the Bloodline story. The Bloodline story is more exciting than what the fuck Cody got going on. All right, get this nigga out of here, straight up. Like, that would be my advice. But yeah, so Cody comes off with the win, and that's that. He gets the Crown Jewel belt, and we move on to Monday Night Raw on Monday. So that's going to do it, man. Shouts out to you if you're watching this. Shouts out to all my wrestling fans out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next video. I hope y'all pull up, and don't do it for me. Do it for the gods.